What it do? What it do? K-Boss here. And I hope y'all doing superb. Oh, what are we doing here today? What are we talking about today? Oh, how the mighty have fallen. And shout out to all the people who play on the game. And when you realize who you're playing with and why you no longer have your top people involved in the game anymore. And so I kind of wanted to take this opportunity to talk about what really is going on in 146. Now, there was a point in time. When you had a core group of people. And this is my experience in games like this, and a lot of games like this will fall this way, especially when you got your top spenders dropping like flies, not even saying a word, just done, not even helping out, giving up their accounts to, what Mr. Pews would call leveling people up. What did you have to do so wrong for people not to want to help others level up? Now, Mike, I got an account from Z, which she was great, to be honest with you, and so I kind of got this second account, which, to be honest with you, it's more work than it is than necessary. But when your leadership and your main leader leaves, what possesses them to leave in the middle of the season? I don't know. I think a lot of things go down behind closed doors, which not everybody's privy to. And, that's the reason why I stay out of leadership. But the biggest problem I have is when you recruit people from outside your planet and they come in thinking everything's hunky-dory and it's not. One has to feel that there's a culprit going around here. Now, I personally don't give a shit because I'm going to talk my stuff. But, that's the reason why I haven't been recording is because I want to see how the chips are going to land. And it seems like we got people pump fake quitting, then we got people who actually quit and give you time and give you a heads up. And does it in a way to where you can be okay with it. And then you have people that just ghost. No response, no nothing. They just, I'm done. I spent X amount of money on the game. I'm tired of the arguing and bickering and fighting. And one thing I can tell you about these type of games that I've been playing for years, and trust me, when I mean playing for years, I could show you where I have viral videos that have over 26,000 views or some stuff, and I no longer play that game, and I left because it really wasn't a rage quit. It was more of a you couldn't hop around like you can on this game. Now, with this game, you're able to migrate and you're allowed to move. But then you got to spend money to move. And then if you didn't build up your visas, then they blocked it to where you couldn't use the migration visa during the middle of the season. And then they made it to where it's so expensive, it's not even worth it. I mean, in order for me to move my previous account, it took me almost $1,300 to move. Luckily, I have a lot saved up, and I kind of haven't rapidly grown. So I kind of want to give a couple tidbits on my thoughts on continually to play. And I'm going to say it in a way to where it might ruffle some feathers, but at the end of the day, we're all grown here. Let's just be adults about it. I'm not the type of person that's going to sit around and allow someone to talk to me any old way. Not that anybody has, but I'm just the type of person, I'm not going to take it. I'm going to say something because it's all time and it's all relative, right? But I can see why somebody would just quit out of nowhere. Straight out of Quitville. A motherfucker says, I will. That's me. Rage quitting at its finest. Or you just don't play anymore for the common good of others. Now, I will say there's a lot of people on here that had some good suggestions about creating a buddy system to make sure people don't fall off. The only problem with that scenario is that battle buddy is what we called it in the Army. The battle buddy that you're with, if you don't really talk to them outside the game, like you don't have like regular conversations and keeping the unity together. As I sit around, I don't say much in the chats to people or anything like that. I just read a lot of what's being said, and a lot of it is all fluff to begin with, because you don't know what's what. And people will say a lot of things, do a lot of things, and then you're going to be the one left holding the bag. So if you continue to play after Season 7 and all the other seasons, let me give you guys some helpful advice, if I may. If you want to actually get or have my understanding, don't leave the true friends that you've built from the beginning if you can. Try to stay within the alliance that you have with the friends that you want to play with. Because I'm going to tell you, as a person who's jumped around from planet to planet to planet, I can tell you personalities will clash and egos will start to arise, and people will say things and do things in order to get a rise out of you. And or mess with other alliances or planets, talk a whole bunch of smack, and then you get your ass kicked, and then all of a sudden, the only thing you can really do is be like, poke the bear, but then steadily get your ass kicked, and you have a whole bunch of people quit. That's what happened in Season 7. I'm just as guilty for making the videos, a lot of the songs, making the greatest hits or whatever for MLD. And, at first I was just having fun with it because, look, I'm into the video content. I'm here to get some action. And when people ain't trying to fight, when you got a planet full of people supposedly coming here to do battle, and when it gets hot and heavy and people had to start spending money, or, once your troops die, you're not willing to pay a little bit extra to keep them going, right? Then you find out who your real friends are. And then you'll find out how people will talk smack behind your back. Then you'll have people that you thought you were cool with and they never respond to you again. I mean, you can only go through that for so long until other people start to quit. And so you have to keep a constant mind up on the war of attrition. Find people that you're cool with, that are going to continue to make you want to play. Now, I came here for one person and one person only. And that person left. That's happened to every single season once you get your ass kicked. And when your shit's to the fan, or when shit hits the fan, you no longer see them playing no more. And it's kind of hard to stay consistent with those types of people. So here's my advice. I've been teasing with it. I've always said make sure that you migrate to what works best for you. What works best for you may not work best for someone else. So let's do this one solid. There is this book called Think and Grow Rich that I'm doing a 4-part series for one of my videos. And it talks about, on chapter 3, where it talks about 3 feet from gold. And there was this guy who was digging a gold mine. And he was digging and digging and digging and digging. But he didn't really have a direction. But he knew that there was something there because he would get chunks and pieces. So he finally got tired and said, I gave up. And then gave his mind away for hella cheap, turned tail and ran and did something else. Sold it to a guy. The guy was like, okay, this is a gold mine, but I don't know anything about digging gold, so let me go and get some expert advice or expert geologist is what he ended up getting, but some people who understood certain things, and they did surveys and graphs, and finally they found that he was only 3 feet away from gold. And that was the largest gold mine deposit, second largest, I think, in the United States at the time, which in that time was worth $20 or $30 million, which back then, that's a lot. That's like almost, we're looking at inflation and everything like that. Cost of living changes. We're talking about billions, if not $trillion worth of gold in the United States. So why am I saying that, and why is it relevant in a video game? You could be 3 feet. You could be 3 feet away from gold, right? By waiting until you find into the next season, finding the right people. You might find the right connections. You might find really good friends. You might find this video or my channel, and it keeps you going. It keeps you from not quitting. Because when you quit and you give up, it hurts a lot of people around you. It affects a lot of people in their morale, where then now we have to go and try to find somewhere else to go. Or do we stay? I don't like certain people, or you don't like certain people. I'm not saying I don't like or dislike, but I mean, if you don't hear from me, that means I blocked you. If I don't respond to certain groups, that means I muted it. If you don't see me talking on certain chats, that means I've deleted that chat off my system. That's typically how I am. I'm not the type of person that's going to sit around and listen or take notes to people that really don't align with what you do personally. Now, I play a character on this game, so I don't care. It don't bother me. This is a role-playing game for me. But in real life, people who really know me, if you think you know me, I will never quit on you. I don't play quit. I will just say, look, I'm done. I'm going to play for X amount of days. Like Stryker, how he did it. He did it with class. He said, listen, I got other things that I need to do, but I'm going to be here until X date, and until that time, so that way we can have some good transition. And that's who I came here for. I came here for Stryker because Stryker came to me with a really good, I would say, sales pitch in a way, right? And I ended up coming over here because my whole concern was to get live action and fight as a team, fight as a force, one solid force where everybody's doing their part. And once that didn't happen, like I said at the beginning of season 7, make sure that you find out who you are with. And now that I know who's what and what's what, I can definitely tell you I'm not quitting the game. I'm not going to move around and migrate, because I'm not spending that type of money to do that, to go and have some other shit happen. So it boils down to pick and choose the battles that you're with, the people that you care about the most. Make sure that those people are good, and make sure that, my whole goal was to make friends that I can have long term regardless of the game. And even though we're not playing the game, we still communicate. And the problem that I'm having is, as long as they're not playing the game, you'll never get that conversation. And it just lets you know who you really, really, really friends with. And when you're on alone on an island and you're the last man standing, just remember, you're only 3 feet away from gold. This is K-Boss. And I'm out.